You're tuned in to the Mind of an Entrepreneur show with your host, myself, Sajdah Wendy Muhammad. I am a multi-million-dollar business developer. I have developed business and real estate around the world, and I want to share with you my mental strategies, my technical strategies, and how I made it in the world of business. So I don't teach theory. I tell you about my life and introduce you to people who can also share with you what they've done to become successful. This is a practical show. This ain't a theory show. You don't want to miss it. So stay tuned. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the Mind of an Entrepreneur show. I'm your host, Sister Sajdah Wendy Muhammad. And guess what? We're going to have a good time tonight. We're going to introduce you to yet another emerging new market leader and industry disruptor, Sister Fatimah Muhammad, with her brand new organic conversation show at my sister's house. So sit back, get you some tea, coffee, some water, and we'll be right back.
O Allah, guide me among those whom Thou hast guided aright, and preserve me among those whom Thou hast preserved, and befriend me among those whom Thou hast befriended. Bless me in whatsoever Thou dost grant me, and deliver me from the evil of what Thou hast judged. Surely Thou judges, and none can judge against Thee. And he whom Thou befriendest is not disgraced. Blessed art Thou, O Lord, and exalted be Thee above what they set up besides Thee. I bear witness, nothing deserves to be served besides Thee. And I bear witness that Muhammad is Thy servant and apostle. Amen.
dynamic for
all
the
of
individual.
that. Children suffered. Some of the children killed themselves. Some of them went out and became prostitutes. Some of the young men came out to be drug addicts and messed up. They even beat some of the children. And one little girl, they sucked her eye out because she was a Muslim. And they were going and having to go to the public school. It was total hell. So that's why I tell her that don't judge. Don't judge. Don't judge. Don't judge these my children.
Yeah.
Don't judge any child that came from the first and had to deal with what the closing of the schools.
Listen, y'all in for one tonight. I hope y'all ready, because I want to introduce you to my longtime sister, Sister Fatimah Muhammad. It's really interesting. I've been running into all my Vanguard sisters from back in the day. And listen, we don't count years. That's why we still look young. We like Prince. We don't count years. We still look like we did 10 years ago, only better. So you're going to meet my sister, Sister Fatimah Muhammad. She has a very powerful show that touched my heart. It's Organic Conversations, and she calls the show At My Sister's House. Listen, you all know, for me as a preservationist, preserving those stories and my mission that our stories matter is critical. So sit back. We're going to have that conversation. We're going to talk about the show. Welcome to you all in the chat. I see a lot of you on here live, but not in the chat. Oh, Sister Sandra, wa alaikum salam. I see you, sis. In the meanwhile, while you're waiting on us to get started, make sure that you like and subscribe to this channel. And I always ask you guys, if I've done anything to help you, influence you in any way, please make a testimonial video, post it, and tag me on it, please. And support the completion of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad House. Get your commemorative coin today. If you want to get the coin, go to sajdahhouse.com. If you just want to donate and you say, I don't have the money right now, I just want to donate, go to $Mo today. That's MOETODAY. Listen, you all will see after this show, and you should have seen after this clip, you really should have seen a long time ago, why our history matters and why it's so important that we preserve our history. So I'm going to bring my sister on now. Assalamu alaikum, beautiful.
Wa alaikum salam.
Vanguard for life. I told him I'd be
G for life.
G for life. How you doing?
I thank Allah. I'm well, alhamdulillah. I'm very well. Thank you for the invite on, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see you and talk.
Yeah.
So this is nice. Thank you.
I'm so, I just, your show, that little clip, it touched my soul.
Yeah.
Because I think I mentioned to you that I hear so many of those conversations, and sometimes they're so heavy that I can't even do anything afterwards. And all I keep saying is just Allah just in my head saying, preserve this history, preserve this history. And I was sharing today, shout out to Muhammad University of Islam here in Chicago, Career Day. We had a great time today. Yeah. I was sharing with the youth, and I said, you know, none of us have been perfect. Okay. And as the sister said, don't judge. But one thing I can say about myself is I've always maintained an intimate relationship with Allah.
Yes.
So in other words, Allah, what's my next move? Where am I supposed to go? What do you want? And I think as a result of that, he knows that I'll listen to him. Right. So he knows if he gives me something, I'm going to be like, okay, well, what you want me to do with this?
Right. Exactly.
And so I ask you, as I watched that little clip, what inspired you to do this?
You know, Sister Sajdah, coming especially in the time we did, in those early days when the minister was really traveling, and we had time to be with each other in car rides and going from here to there. We in hotels, and we're hearing the stories. We're watching and seeing things. And as years have gone on, my love for being an MGT and making sure we ain't forgot who we are and what we have. I've had this opportunity now to be able to talk to sisters and invite them in the house and hear stories from pretty much all perspectives. So my love for it, let me say this, how it started.
Yeah.
Was at work one day, and a lady said, I didn't know Muslim women could laugh. And I'm like, wow. So later I called my older sister, Roz, and I shared it with her. She's a Christian. And she said, you know, a lot of people, they don't know nothing about Muslim women.
That's right.
You should do a show. But at the time, the struggle was so hard trying to be a single mom, 4 children. I threw that away. As time went on, and you at that point where the children are now getting older, what's my next move? What's for Fatima now? And the one thing, I don't care how many times I write it down, my love is my Islam. I love being an MGT. I love what we do. I love the opportunity to share this and the truth we stand on. Okay, how do I incorporate my love into sharing it with the world? And one thing the minister said to us is, help me get our people. Okay, I would love for the world to see what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad made in this class. So that's how we got started. So bringing on sisters to discuss everything from women in the ministry. Sister Medina was such a blessing to share the notes from her mother, being the one and only secretary of Master Farad Muhammad. Her sister came on and shared stories with being one of the children removed from the home for not leaving University of Islam. I've had sisters come on and talk about the value of martial arts and why and as a Vanguard, we don't have our share of practices on the mat. The boxing.
You know what, Sister Fatimah, let me tell you something. The last time I was blessed to see the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, he mentioned that.
Did he?
He remembered it. And he I was joking because Colliday was there.
Right.
And I was joking with Colliday, and I looked at the minister. I said, Colliday ain't no joke. He said, I heard you ain't either. I said, and so we just reminisced. Right. I said, look, we used to be sparring and picking each other up and running with each other and just training. And I'm just you're right. I'm grateful for it.
Yes.
Because it was just such a special time. Like you said, when the minister was moving around, it's just different. And I'm grateful for you because I can't tell you how many times in business I've had people literally just since purchasing the messenger's home say they let y'all do that.
Wow. Yeah. There it is.
And I'm witness. Who gonna stop me?
Right.
Allah told me to do this.
And we forget as Muslim women, the Constitution, our Constitution, allow us to be free to pursue our skills, our talents within the laws of our Islam. But go and pursue. And
you think we're not second-class citizens?
Well, not according to the Constitution. But I think sometimes the world don't realize, and we have put a cap on ourselves. So to be able to say to the world and to us, a reminder, you might be sitting on an idea and maybe, and then that's when I started the Monday show in the spotlight, where I highlight a sister in her business and giving tips on do's and don'ts. And maybe it'll spark in another sister, man, I'm sitting at home. I love to bake. Maybe this is a business. Maybe I didn't know that sister sold bags. Let me order a bag. So giving us the opportunity to support each other, encourage each other, be there for each other, and show the world who and what we are. And so that's been where the show started. And inshallah, we'll keep that as our foundation. Yes. But showing also Black women in business. In Detroit, Sister Sajdah, we have a street not far from here. And the whole block is nothing but Black businesses from 1 mile to the other. Thriving, prosperous.
People don't know that.
Thriving, prosperous, and a lot of them are Black women who are running these businesses. So I took to the mic, my producer and I went on the streets, and we talking to them too, so that the world can see another image besides we getting shots to make our body parts look bigger, where we have to be calling each other ratchet and savage, but to show the full scope of who and what we are.
I also want to thank you because another thing I've learned in doing this project has changed my life, but in this preservation process, I've also learned how many women are at risk of being written out of history.
Yes.
To that extent, our second floor of exhibits, we have several rooms one dedicated to Mother Marie, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's mother.
Yes.
2 other rooms dedicated to the mothers of the faithful. And you may have heard the minister say to me, he would like a picture of Sister Ava Muhammad there. May Allah be pleased with her. Well, we got to do more than the picture. But my point being, even the prayer that I showed at the beginning, where you had the sisters with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, I think because of the lies that were told on him about the domestic life, people tended to overlook the sisters.
Yes.
And if we are not careful, and Sister Aletha, who's here in the chat, pointed out to me, she said, it's not just the sisters from back then. She said, look at the work that we did that people don't know about. And so I think it's time for us to tell our story. I'm diehard about us uplifting one another and loving on each other and supporting one another. If I find out one of my fellow MGT got a business or I try to do what I can to promote. I immediately saw your show and I said, let me help Sister push and promote what it is that she's doing, because it's so important. And because as Black women, especially in the Nation of Islam, we're history makers.
Yes.
Independent education. Mother Clara ran the nation while the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was on the run and in prison.
Yes.
Not because of something he did, but because of the hypocrites and the devil chasing him, because they didn't want us saying, that's okay. They didn't want us saying Assalamu alaikum in public.
Exactly.
They didn't want us covering our hair in public. So when I talk to Middle Eastern Muslims who are here, I said, you couldn't even say Assalamu alaikum.
That's right.
You couldn't wear hijab were it not for this man.
That's right.
So I'm grateful for what it is that you're doing.
And a lot of times that right there, having that spirit is the spirit we all have to go with. Because especially as Black women, let's even go one more step back.
Come on.
Sister Bernstein Sharif.
Sister Bernstein, yes.
Chose by Master Fatimah Muhammad as a girl to hold on to things that now, all these years later, we're still building off of through a woman. Like you said, with Mother Clara Muhammad. And I don't think we give her enough acknowledgement. I don't think we recognize the foundation, that bean pie that the brothers love to have. And we are having contests all over on who has the best one through another sister. We have done so much great within our nation and through the times from before slavery. We ain't gonna just talk about doing so. We're gonna go all the way back to being queens and empress and holding us down till to date, holding the family, upholding, and we're becoming some of the most disrespected, but yet we have some of the biggest value, very crucial in our history. So I think what you're doing in this format, just by allowing us to come forth and let our story be told, men and women. Let the world see what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad did right here, what Minister Farrakhan is doing, who he's creating. A lot of times it's so brushed over or given. I'll tell you the one that here in Detroit, you hear a lot of. I started out in the nation, but see, then I learned it's Al-Islam. And now so we become this kindergarten door, as if the work that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad did not open the doors for all the other doors you're walking through. So it's there. And what you're doing, Sister Sajdah, may Allah bless you with success. It is so vitally important. And I pray that the nation get behind you and support you 1,000%, every individual, because this is so important to our history. So
I receive that. It is important. Let me say something to you about Mother Clara. When I started working on naming the different rooms in the house, and something told me to ask the minister what he thought about naming the kitchen, about me naming the kitchen after Mother Clara Muhammad.
Right.
And he said, oh, sister. He said, while you may be well-meaning, think over that, because these brothers will put you all in the kitchen.
In the kitchen.
He said, Mother Clara ran the nation.
Mm.
You infuse her throughout that whole house. And what a
Wisdom.
beautiful man to uplift
That's right.
a woman, because he said it to me gently. He said, although you may be well-meaning,
Meaning exactly.
but
Exactly.
you have to raise her, even higher. And you mentioned us being this kindergarten door, or this proverbial kindergarten door where people say, oh, I used to be in the nation, but now I study al-Islam and all this. When this past weekend, we had 55 guests from the Chicago Black Muslim History Tour.
Wow.
It was put together by Imam El Tariq Amin and at Masjid Al Taqwa. But what was beautiful is there were Muslims from all walks of life, various Muslim backgrounds, and they came to respect and honor
There you go.
the culture given to the first begotten of the dead.
Yes, ma'am.
See, when we don't make the Bible come to life,
that's right.
It's just a book.
That's right.
But see, when I have a question, I go right into this book.
Yes, ma'am.
When I have a question, I go right to the Bible. The first begotten of the dead. And the minister talked about, I think it was 1981 Sadie's Day, where he talked about us being a virgin people.
That's right. Yes, ma'am.
Having never received revelation from God. Receiving and conceiving and giving birth to this great and beautiful nation. So we owe ourselves,
yes, ma'am,
to tell our stories and to uplift our elders and one another.
And the stories they have, I don't even think we've touched the surface of sharing those stories. Mm-hmm. And those stories aren't, and I heard Brother Akbar say this before. We all need to write a book.
We do.
You might think it's unimportant where you are at, but you don't know how vital later in life all of our stories collectively are. And there are so many that I'll hear them share a tidbit of some part of our history. And you go, wow, I didn't know. And this is the foundation we're building off of. It ain't just where we're at. This is the building stuff. We're all laying a foundation to this building structure. And these stories are so phenomenal. And it's part of our history. We're obligated to share these stories. And again, back to Sister Alita saying, even we are part of it. Sometimes we can see others and don't see ourselves being written in history. We're here. We're part of this too. Mm-hmm. So it's so important that our roles, and as you and I were talking before air, the babies coming up behind us, this Joshua generation coming up behind, they're fearless. Mm-hmm. So we got to have this recorded because they're about to go out here and be doing some things. Mm-hmm. So let's arm them with the truth that they standing on so they go with knowledge. They're not just going, but they go with knowledge. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah, no, that's real talk, sister. One thing that I've noticed, we're moving into a different phase, right? So we came through that phase of understanding the knowledge of self, mm-hmm. which we know is the greatest robbery of any human being, is to rob them of the knowledge of themselves. It's a huge crime.
Right.
And we were robbed of that, which stripped us of our self-worth and our self-esteem. And then we started to learn, who is Master Fatimah Muhammad? Who is the Honorable Elijah Muhammad? Who is the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan? And now I would ask you, and I see you and I see your evolution. So this is what's drawing this question out of me. Now it's time to know who we are.
Yes.
We believe in them, but it's time to believe in ourselves. How has that evolution impacted what you do now as a woman? You mentioned going through single mother, having children, you're in Detroit. Tell me what that means to you now to believe in Fatimah.
Sister Sajdah, we came at a time when we were young, 20 years old, 21 years old. And we were just ready to do whatever, wherever needed. Call us, tell us, let's go. And I committed a lot of my time as a young woman, vanguard, making sure I was out there, wherever I could be, just busy doing something.
Yeah.
Then motherhood came. And they came fast too, Sister Sajdah, one after the other. I looked up and it was 4 of them. I don't know where they all came from. I'm trying to still determine if they all mine or not. But
did you do that for real?
I don't know. That's what they say. 2 of them I'm waiting on the blood work back on to see if they mines or not. 2 of them I'm sure mines. I ain't gonna say which is which. But I looked up and my time was put into being a mother. And I held that post. Now the last ones just graduated and I'm looking around like, who is Fatimah? What do Fatimah like to do with Fatimah? Where is my role now in my part of the big scheme of it all? And I've taken it upon myself to truly take the time to study me. I take the time to just take a walk. I take the time to meditate. My prayers have become so much more meaningful because I have the time to really focus on what I'm saying and know how important it is what I'm saying, you know? So now I'm at a phase where I can honestly say, Sister Sajdah, this part of doing the work is more Fatimah in it than before when Fatimah was just receiving, obeying, and following through. I still follow my instructions. I'm going to hold my post down. But I get to now be me. I get to show you who I am and how these teachings have helped to make me a better me. I can tell you all day about the next person. I can show you all day how someone, but you need to see in me that change, that reflection. So now I'm taking the time and I'm learning it. And I'm understanding why it takes years to get this thing. Because every day I'm learning something more. You know?
Yes. You know, when I study the evolution of myself and I want to just see what your experience has been with this. So I went from Wendy X to Wendy Muhammad. Sajdah Wendy Muhammad. I a lot of people in my family and friends, a lot of people call me Winnie, which means friend of peace. And then Sajdah is one who adores Allah. And I started to see where I had evolved from Winnie or Wendy into Sajdah. And that evolution led to a much more intimate relationship with Allah, of the process of looking for him in everything, in everywhere, the process of just sometimes just sitting with him and talking, asking questions. What's my next move? Why are you showing me this? Where am I now? Oh, Allah, I'm tired. Oh, Allah, I'm excited. Oh, Allah, I love this person. Allah, I don't know if I like that person too much. You know, so for me, I went into this much more intimate space where I could hear and listen to Allah. And I think that that's why over the years, he's laid some heavy responsibility on him, because I think inadvertently I showed him that I would listen. And so everybody has their own authentic journey. And, you know, you talked about the motherhood piece, but what has that now more close and intimate relationship with Allah meant to you? And what have you learned about yourself?
You know, as you said, I joined Kimberly X. Then I received my Muhammad. I'm Kimberly Muhammad. Now, Kimberly X was the vanguard, the one who was taught how to roll out of a moving car. We were taught the boxing and the traveling everywhere.
What's the one way we had to put each other on the shoulder? The farmer's carry.
Yes. And have to carry.
That we are not the ones to mess with. Y'all, we make this look like this, but listen.
We cute in those garments, but we know what we doing. But that Kimberly X then became Kimberly Muhammad. And what Allah gave me to really show me what's inside me was motherhood. Motherhood pulled something out of me I never knew was there. And to bring it out and refine it even more, I became a single mother. I can't tell you how many years I kept thinking, can I do this? Can I really do this by myself? Wait a minute. And a sister here said to me, you're doing it. As of recent, now check this one out, Sister Sajdah. As of recent, I have a business coach, Brother Young Khan the Don. We were talking, and he said, who are you? And I started with the whole thing, you know. He said, okay, now take away the MGT, take away the mother, take away the wife. Who are you? I'm writing. So I didn't say nothing. He said, are you there? I said, yes, sir, I'm here. I thought you want me to tell you later. He said, no, I want you to tell me now. I can't tell you before that moment when I've ever thought of, who am I? That began my journey seriously. And I had to say, wow, I am, I love. Oh, you know what else I do? And I have a journal where I started to write those things down and take advantage of what I said. I like quietness. I love sitting on my deck. I love just being still. And Mother Tynetta did an article I just read about in The Power of Silence.
She did, yeah.
And sometimes just making everything around us quiet. And I learned that's the power of our prayers. 5 times a day, I can stop everything around me and make it all submit while I go in prayer. So I'm discovering. I can't say I got it yet.
Sure.
But I'm discovering me and the things I love. So when I get to sit and talk to another Black woman, and we talk about business or the spiritual walk or the things that she loved or struggled, I get on high. I love to see my sisters thrive. I love to be a part of their success and their wins. So for me, that's my love. And I'm learning my walk in that way.
Yeah.
I'm learning it.
What would you do, sis, if money wasn't a factor? If you could do whatever you want, what would you be doing?
Once upon a time, I had a job as a program director for a program called Lift. And what it did was work with women coming out of shelters, domestic violence, jail, prison, and helping reentry programs. I would have did it for free. When the program shut down, I asked if I could stay on, no salary, and continue working till they could get the money up. There was nothing more rewarding that I could look just like this, go in there and talk, and they heard every word out my mouth. And the love for those women. And I'm going to tell you this story really quickly.
No, you don't have to be quick. Go ahead.
It's the end of the workday, and I'm about to go. And I get a phone call from a young lady. And she's like, Miss Muhammad, don't leave. Don't leave. I'm on my way. Don't leave. And I can hear her out of breath in the whole nine. So I'm waiting in my office. She runs in my office. And she's sweating and everything. And goes, da-da. Okay, what I'm looking at? Da-da! Okay. You got to give me another clue. I need one more clue. She said, I got my first job. You helped me get my first job. And I never had a job before. And I talked to the people for the apartment. I moved in this week. We just cried.
Yes.
That was so rewarding for me. It wasn't my job. It wasn't my car. It wasn't my house. But I felt her pain, her excitement of going through it. One sister, one day we were just talking, and she had just been raped and brutally. and we just talking, and she said, I thank God I got the chance to talk to you because I wanted to commit suicide, but I'm okay now. And we just talked. To be able to be in a seat to know that you can be your sister's shoulder when somebody don't know where they're going. Sister Sajdah, Allah has blessed us with a truth that allows us to stand up and be a voice when someone need a voice. For me, if I could do anything, that would be it. If I could be a motivation to women, I swear to you, I'd go everywhere I could just to share a word, just to uplift. That's my joy. That's my joy.
That's probably your calling. Like for me, I like helping people find a way to be free and sustain themselves.
Yeah.
So if that can help you put your business together and promote you. I've been doing this since 2009. Nobody paid me to do it. I write shows. I do whatever. I was on the radio and doing whatever I could because I just love to see Black people free from the bondage of the things that have held us back, that have robbed us of the knowledge of self, that put us in the position where we're being burdened by anxiety and grief and debt and oppression. So doing for self is one of those things, or doing what you love. I ask you that question because I like to know that.
Yes.
So that I have a whole world that I've been given access to through the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, through the development of this house museum.
Yes, ma'am.
And there are opportunities. And so I like to know what my sisters want to do.
Yeah.
Because there will be people who will come and say, well, this is what I'll do. And I want to be able to say, I got somebody for you.
Right. That's right.
I got somebody that I can connect you to, because that's what I get off on.
Yes, ma'am.
So if I connect you with this program and they say, yeah, we're doing it in Detroit too. And, we want to bring the sisters to the house, because I think it's important for women to see that there's alternatives out here.
Yes.
I was listening to, and this is, some people probably find this weird, but you know me, I'm the perpetual orientation teacher. I never stop teaching orientation. So I see certain sisters and I'm always thinking about, like in pop culture, how would I help them?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I saw the sister, Jocelyn Hernandez, from Love and Hip Hop. Mm-hmm. She was on a show a couple days ago. She had just gone to jail for fighting. And she's struggling. She does yoga. She says she's praying. She did Ramadan. But, she's still doing the thing, still on the pole. And I just said, here's somebody looking for relief.
Yeah.
Because she talked about growing up in Puerto Rico and would be running around with no shoes on as a little girl, would end up with heroin needles and crack vial glass in her feet. And her mother, who was on drugs as well, I believe, when her father died of an overdose, would be pulling those things out of her feet. So she gets here to the States, and the only way, or the reachable way that she had to make money for herself was to be a stripper.
Yeah.
And a lot of people would look down, and she's a fighter.
Right.
You see her, she be whipping people like it ain't nothing.
Right.
People say, they joke, you should be a boxer. But I said, this is a sister. She's fighting these demons. She's reaching out. She's obviously got so much of the spirit of Allah in her. Otherwise, she wouldn't be successful as she is. She just needs somebody to help her tweak
those areas,
who she is in certain areas, so that she can be better and better and better, not only for herself, but her daughter, and for all the people out here that are looking at her. And so I say that to you, sis, because the work that we do can bring hope to sisters who they just need some relief.
Yeah. And a lot of times the relief, the opportunity, and the knowledge, sadly, the opportunities that are out here sometimes limit and or are promoted. Because if you notice, they're really promoting a whole stripper. I mean, there's a whole song, I don't mind if you a stripper or work the pole or whatever the little song says.
Yeah, if you take your clothes off, you get more money.
And so now we're seeing a whole world where women are becoming very wealthy from stripping, taking their clothes off, and doing so many suggestive things. But who has the knowledge? Who's teaching them the knowledge of who they are? How many have taught the history of what you're doing? How many have shown them they got more than that in them? Mm-hmm. So we go for the immediate, not knowing, oh, I got so much more that I could be presenting. And hence why this is so important. Like you said, the connections. I see something in you more than that. I see something in you. Let me connect you with this. Oh, there's another opportunity because because you see us do something don't mean it's what we love to do. It's correct. Sometimes the means to get to what we're trying to get.
We turn up for the cameras, for the money.
Exactly.
We don't know another way. But if the gods are out here,
that's right,
then we can help bring the God out of other sisters. And that person bringing the God out of somebody else, and we raising babies, and we're bringing the God out of these people
and showing them their value. Mm-hmm. All of us want to feel special, mm-hmm. and all of us have stories. And one of the beauties of the minister telling us about Dianetics, there's things inside that we're responding to we don't know. To grow up with both parents on drugs, that's a heck of a reality. Mm-hmm. And now I'm trying to figure out how to get by. I'm in a new country. I'm trying to figure it out. So before, as the video say, we start judging someone, yes. The study guides teach us to walk in another person's shoes. Empathy. Because we don't always know. And working with that program, that's what it gave me a great opportunity. Mm-hmm. Some of the stories these women went through, Sister Sajdah, to date, I can't get them out my head. Mm-hmm. We were at a store, my children and I, and this lady who appeared homeless came up and was asking for money. Mm-hmm. And so I said, I'm sorry, I don't have any cash on me. And she stood there and said, Miss Muhammad. So of course my children like, who are your friends? Who how do you know her? But she was through the program. So she still remembered everything I told her in the program. Sadly, the doors got shut. So she had nowhere else to go but back out in these streets. They're looking for us. They're looking and it's who we are. Like when you said, who are you? They're looking for that one. They don't need us judging. They don't need us to say what you need to do. They need us to be a sister, be a shoulder, be guides, be understanding. Everything we see the minister do for us, that's what they're looking for through us.
Yeah, that's why these authentic stories and these authentic conversations are so important.
Yes.
Because, most of us are converts to Islam. And so there was a us before the evolution.
That's right.
And so I think sometimes when we forget that, it's like parents who don't tell the children about their past. Mm-hmm. It's important so that they know what evolution looks like.
That's right.
It's like showing your child what love looks like. Show them what evolution looks like.
That's right.
And I think oftentimes for those of us as church women and spiritual women, we don't tell our stories.
That's right.
Because we want to get up on stage and look like we always look like this.
I was born this way.
Like this. How Beyonce say, I woke up like this. This is what we want to be able to say. But when you see some of the sisters like Sarah Jakes, who keeps it real. This is what I've been through. I was pregnant at 13. Mm-hmm. And I think it's important for people to talk about that. I posted yesterday about one of my clients who got conned by a brother she met. Took her checkbook and a bunch of stuff. And so when I got on the live, I said, look, I've seen people trying to peg me with that. Asking for money. Mm-hmm. You just got to keep it real. It just makes it more. It makes it better. I think we spend so much time trying to mimic pop culture where you got to look like you got it going on and you got to look a certain way. But look, it's time to get down to the nitty gritty and go get our people. We got to go back
That's the only way.
Where we could stand up in front of somebody and say, you know what, I've been through this or that.
Exactly.
I knew this dude over here back in the day.
Exactly.
Matter of fact, I knew him yesterday because I just seen him.
You know, it's the imagery.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've gotten caught up in the imagery.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and because this society now make everything look like it happens overnight. Mm-hmm. All you have to do is pick up a phone and you can have 1 million followers tomorrow. You could be Jay-Z next week. All you got to do, pick up a microphone, you'll be Beyonce next year. And we don't show the work no more. Mm-hmm. We don't show the effort that goes into everything. So when you see a person on the rise, but they on the grind to get there, and then we don't want to talk about the grind because we trying to look like we Jay-Z and Beyonce. Mm-hmm. Then, like you said, the next generation think, how do I get it quick? Oh, I know, I'll dance. Oh, I can sell drugs real quick. And just as quick as you get it, be just as quick as you lose it. Mm-hmm. So you have to appreciate the struggle too.
Yes.
There's a process. So when you say, who are you now? Who do you see? There was a struggle to get to see Fatimah today. There was a lot of tears shed. There were times, sis, the struggle was real.
I know.
And I'm okay with it. Because one thing, like you said, you shared with them, you never let go of your Islam. Sis, I don't care how deep it got. I don't care how hard it got. I don't care how difficult it appeared. I knew Allah would not leave us. Yeah. I knew. One day we were in a motel living in Florida, me and the children. And my back was to my daughter, and it was one of those motels with a kitchen in it. So I was stirring, and she was behind me and said, do you think Allah is mad at us? Mm. And I said, I never turned around. And I said, what makes you think that? And she said, look how hard we got it. Tears. But she can't see me. And I said, so is Allah God only when he given to us? Is Allah God only when we have? Is Allah God only pleased if we happy? You can't go through a little bit and Allah still stay God. She was maybe 8, Sister Sajdah. She turned around, walked away, and she said, next thing I know, I heard her in the corner saying, thank you, Allah, for my family. Thank you, Allah. It broke my heart because I'm thinking to myself, have I failed them? Did I not show them that this is good and real for them? I prayed harder because I knew he was still with us, even in the midst of. Yes. If there was nothing to eat, Allah's God. And we're going to come through this and be better than before. I got to know that. I got to believe that. I've got to the point I made a post. I no longer can say I believe. I know with a surety. Yeah. I know this is real. I know we gonna succeed. I know we got this. We just got to do our parts and not get to that bougie, get arrogant.
You mean
get stuck up. We gotta grind for this.
But see, bougie, arrogant, and stuck up is really giving up.
Giving up? Yes, ma'am. She chose that.
Because bougie, arrogant, and stuck up is saying, I done found a new God.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That old God, I ain't with that no more.
Exactly.
I got me a new God.
Right.
And then that works until that God can't take you no further. Then you got to run back to the true and living God.
You know, there's a hadith that the minister reminds us of when it talks about he who goes out in search of knowledge. See, that's a life journey. Rather than doing this work, this is a commitment for life. Those are our people. This is our life journey. That's why when Sister Athenia did that interview, it's with my love and respect. I thank her because no matter how old she is, she's still right here in the work. sharing her story, making sure it's told so it's not forgotten. And I'm grateful for that. You know, 'cause I'm not 19 no more. So in a minute, we'll be the ones sharing these stories from our long struggle in this. For the ones who won't remember 2023. So I'm thankful.
Here's the other piece, Sister Fatimah, that I think is worth mentioning, and that for Allah to have kept his hand on us. That is, to me, one of the greatest blessings and what I'm grateful for most.
Yes.
That he tapped me and you probably in the womb.
Yes.
I tried to say to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan that the messenger was involved in my life ever since I got the house, and he was shaking his head while I was saying it. He said, he's been in your life since before you were born. So a word for one is a word for all.
Yeah.
That's just for me. I'm not selfish like that. It's for you. It's for everybody listening. To tap us, for us to live in this day and time, to be following men who are walking through the volume of the book, means that we're walking through the volume of the book, which means our mothers and our fathers walking through the volume of the book, right? And as we are on this journey, here's the other piece that sometimes we miss. Obviously, we know that when Allah brought us into this world, he had a plan.
Yes. Yeah.
He had something. He said, I got to express something, and it's going to look like this, or it's going to look like Fatima or whoever, but I have something I want to say. And I'm going to say it in this way that looks like this sister. But then in what he had to say gave us our authenticity. So yes, we're soldiers, we get the training, but then we have the struggle to give birth to our authentic self, which really is the unique of expression of Almighty God, Allah, through us.
That's right.
And so that becomes a struggle, because you got to be careful that when your authenticity is being expressed, that you don't find another God.
There you go.
You don't find something else to worship, because now you know yourself. Now you're smelling yourself. Now you're feeling yourself. So staying on that course and allowing him to mold, shape, move us. That's the beauty, really, of being a woman in Islam, because, and the brothers have their own transformation. I'm not discounting theirs.
Right.
But we're talking about women today. And we're talking about women who part of our evolution is giving birth. You mentioned giving birth to children and to ideas. I'm always giving birth. He gave me something big. Right now I'm in labor.
That's right.
And I'm bearing down. Y'all hear me asking for help. Ice chips and a cold rag. And
thank you.
You know, come on. Right. The baby is right there and I'm pushing it, pushing it. Ain't coming out. Where y'all at?
Right.
Roll me up in the back. Walk me down the street.
Exactly.
So we're always producing and in labor and giving birth to something, because, as the minister says, we want to be made all up in to him. And so the work that you're doing is giving sisters an inspiration, that word that will help them give birth to their, and it's never too late to give birth. That sister that was on there, she got children, grandchildren. She just giving birth. She gave birth to a whole new reality when she had a conversation with you.
Thank you. Yes,
I thank Allah for her.
Yes, yes.
And please let her know that I thank Allah for her, for allowing us to stand on her shoulders. And here's another piece. I'm going to say this. We have our mothers, some who are in the nation, some who are out of the nation, but Allah is just tapping, tapping. Give birth to this. I'm listening to you having that conversation with your little girl. Does she remember that conversation?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
What did she say about it?
You know, it's funny because as they get older, you wonder, what do they recall or how much do they remember?
Mm-hmm.
So one day, my son and I are in the car. He's a real quiet kind of guy. He don't talk a lot.
You have
And
3 girls and 1 boy?
3 girls and 1 boy.
Okay.
And he said to me,
You know, Sister Fatimah, I still can't see you with children.
me neither. So you don't have to. Me neither. Me
Okay.
neither. That's why I told you you're waiting on some blood work. I don't
Okay.
And they're the greatest blessing, I promise you.
Yeah.
But he said, you know, ain't it funny we really never struggled?
Ooh.
And I'm driving thinking, okay, I was struggling. I don't know where you were, but I was struggling.
But you know, it's interesting because you can have 2 different, 4 or 5 different children and they see things
Totally different. Totally different. But in their minds, the struggle bonded us. In their minds, that just made us all closer. Because whatever we went through, we did it together. Yeah. So they don't see it as bad as it was. That's Allah's mercy. Because sometimes you can be in the midst of a thing with the struggle, like you said, going through the labor pain. But I'm looking at you and you look good from here. See, I don't know what Allah's taking you through and about to bring up out of you. That's what you're seeing right now with the Black woman. We're doing great things on many levels, despite all that you're hearing, despite what they're saying about single mothers, and despite the minister said in Divine Value of the Female, he said, I want to show you your value. That's to let you know how much we have thought less of ourselves, how much this world tried to devalue us. So the minister said, coming with the truth, I got to show you your value because you dealing in a world that's not. The world that's showing you you're not as valuable as you are. So now here we come as the saviors to help him in showing women their value and showing them their shine, showing them how beautiful and how important they are to every aspect in the community, in the social arenas, in the political arenas, the medical arenas, in every aspect, down to even being at home. The sisters that's at home, there's a very important job. So we're in that hour that is so crucial that we as Black women, we can't afford not to see how valuable we are. Yeah. The minister said there's no such thing as an unintelligent woman. We have to be fighting in this hour to make sure every sister know that. And it's amazing to me how, I read a book called The Power of a Positive Word. And in the book it said that we hear more negative words than we do positive.
We do.
So I would start the day each time those women came with, I love you. Each one that came in, girl, you look good. Oh, you so pretty. Oh, look at your smile. And I do it with my children. I do it with my sisters. I send messages just to say, I love you. I'm so proud of you. Sis, I thank you. I thank Allah for you. Because we don't know how valuable that word is to someone who ain't heard that word. We take for granted because I feel good and strong, but there's days I don't. So when my sister said to me, oh man, it helps to lift my spirit. So we duty bound on every level, whether it's a word or an action.
Every level. That's right, sis. So tell us when we can catch your show at my sister's house and where. I'm going to put that in the chat so everybody can like and subscribe. So like and subscribe to this channel, and then we're going to give you the information because y'all see how good my sister is. Y'all see how amazing she is. So just imagine her conversations with these pioneering sisters that she's having at her sister's house. So I'm going to put that in the chat and let me know where we can see it.
You can like and subscribe right here on YouTube at my sister's house. We're on there. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and it's every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, and every Monday.
So they can watch this show and then click over and look at the other.
There you go.
That's it right there.
And every Monday at 7 p.m. is In the Spotlight Presents, where we highlight a sister in her business.
Okay. Okay. My Sister's House on YouTube. You got
At My Sister's House.
On YouTube.
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got something there, sis. I'm just telling you, you got something, because there's voices, and what I've learned is that we are one of the most studied social groups in the history of America, and that's Muslim members of the Nation of Islam. So our data, everything, we're studied. But the thing is that a lot of people don't hear our voices.
Yes.
And so to give voice to the voiceless,
yes,
is a beautiful thing. And I thank you, sis.
I thank you. I thank you. I'm so proud of you.
Look,
May
I'm proud
Allah
of you.
Bless you. May Allah bless you.
I received that. May Allah bless you too. Look, we're going to just enjoy his bounties.
Yes.
And the minister told me is share your rewards with your family and friend. And like I said, a word for one is a word for all. So let's share our rewards.
Yes.
With our family and friends. Thank you, sis. And I'm going to make sure that we remind everybody to subscribe. So I see people in the chat, sis, saying they subscribing now.
Thank you. Thank
right?
you.
And make sure you tag me so I can tune in and I'll repost and help you promote. And let's talk about it. Maybe you can bring At My Sister's House to Sajdah House.
Definite. That's a definite. By Allah's permission, we'll get that happening.
Okay. Thank you, sis.
Thank you.
Give my love to the family.
Thank you. And may Allah bless you all.
Thank you. All right. I hope you enjoyed today's show. Give me a thumbs up in the chat if you did. If you enjoyed that conversation. Sister Sandra D says, great and beautiful show. She enjoyed it. Unlimited blessings to you both. Sister Alicia, she says she was proud of both of us, and she is subscribing now. Thursday at 7 p.m. is At My Sister's House. And then she said Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern time is In the Spotlight, where she's highlighting sisters in business. So Sister Aletha said it was beautiful. Let us know how you felt about tonight's show and what you thought about it while you are liking and subscribing to the Sajdah Wendy Muhammad YouTube channel. And make sure you like and subscribe to At My Sister's House. Now, listen, y'all, we give y'all all kind of information for free. Okay. You're not subscribing. You don't have to pay for this. We not on Showtime or HBO yet. We don't have our own networks yet. So make sure you support us. Go to $Mo Today. That's Cash App $Mo Today, MOETODAY. We will continue to bring more information and more conversations like this, an alternative, right, to the ratchetness that is so common. We want to put and lay on you some information that when you sleep on it, it's going to germinate and make you do bigger and better things. Things that when you listen to this, yeah, that's right, Sister Alicia. Don't chip and dip me. Y'all know what I'm saying. Don't chip and dip me. Okay, just sitting here chipping and dipping and not giving. Mo Today, $Mo Today, MOETODAY. Y'all heard about this great history. All right. Support the completion of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad House. Order your commemorative Elijah coin today. If you're not ready to get your coin, all you have to do is donate via Cash App. We have to finance our own stories. We have to finance our own freedom. We have to stop looking up saying, well, they're showing this on TV and I don't want to see that. You see what Tyler Perry did? He said, okay, I'm going to take majority interest in BET and BET Plus. You think that was free? That cost him money. You had to go see his shows and his plays and build up to that and watch him on the other networks so that he could have the money to go and buy BET. So don't chip and dip me, because I'm the kind of person Allah knows that when he blesses me from his bounties, I always give it back. So I'm just a conduit. It comes here and then I give it back to his people. So trust me, you will benefit. You will find a way to benefit. And what we want to start doing is investing in one another, investing in consciousness, investing in righteousness, investing in something that is alternatively greater than the things that are just putting us in that dead, manipulative space. I know Sister Alicia said I haven't said that in a while. That's because you ain't remind me, Sister Alicia. Don't chip and dip me. That's what I mean. I used to always say that. I mean that. Don't chip and dip me. All right, family. Peace and blessings. So Saturday, Sajdah Morning Coffee Talks. Let me tell you, I'm playing around with a new series, and I've been studying the women of the Bible, and I want to pull them out of the Bible and make them come to life. And so I'm going to start with Mary Magdalene. I don't know if I'll be ready this Saturday. I'll see. I'll see how the Spirit leads me. But we have a lot of different women that we're going to be covering on the series on the Sajdah Saturday Morning Coffee Talk. Let me tell you what I got that I've been studying. We got Mary Magdalene, disciple. They call her a disciple of Jesus, but she was an apostle. You know, in order to become an apostle, you have to be a disciple. We're going to talk about that. We have Shira, Anna, the prophetess, Bethiah, Gomar, Hannah, Haglar, Joanna, Lydia, Phoebe, Susanna, Mary, the mother of Jesus. But I'm working on it. I'll let you all know. I'll decide by tomorrow morning if we're ready to start on Mary Magdalene. Because the thing about Mary Magdalene is that I could do a whole series of 10 shows on Mary Magdalene. But we'll see. And if we're not ready this Saturday, we're going to still talk. We're going to still have a good time. And we may start next week. But I'll let you all know. Stay close to social media. We have some events coming up this summer. I just was putting them together. We've got some exciting dates, some tours, and some fun stuff happening. It's just an opportunity, right, to invest and expand. So stay close. All right. Support the movement. Support the house. Love you all. And I will see you all, inshallah, on Saturday. Don't go anywhere.
Greetings, conscious entrepreneurs. Add the Mind of an Entrepreneur show to your Roku TV lineup and catch up on past episodes of all your favorite Mo Today shows.